I was exploring my hard drive the other day where I came across a folder titled Andys. This is all the information I've ever compiled on Capt Andy's Rivertowne, and I thought I deleted it. Like 2 years ago, I thought I deleted this folder by accident. You can imagine my happy surprise. And I thought to myself, what else is there to do with niche information than compile it in a video like this? So get ready to absorb Capt Andys Rivertowne, the restaurant chain. How much context do I need to give about the 1980s and their utter obsession with arcade, pizza, animatronic themed restaurants? If you click this video, I assume you know the rundown, but summary. Nolan Bushnell, the man, came up with the ingenious concept of Pizza Towne Theatre, featuring characters we all recognize today. Then, literally hundreds of copycats sprung up everywhere, all across America. Everyone was sure that this was the way to make money. It wasn't. I came across images of Capt Andy for the first time on that website that every animatronic enthusiast has visited at least once, and I was instantly hooked. This bayou-themed restaurant with a gigantic show and all these little details. Fantastic food and fun for everyone. I wanted to learn everything about this place. The Capt Andys animatronics look so good. The character designs are timeless and could be installed anywhere today, and you would never think that they were designed originally in 1981. No offense to other animatronic bands of this time, but they're dated. If I woke up in the night and in the shadows I saw Capt Andy in the dark, I'd be like, right? Go back to sleep. But if I woke up and I saw the Wolfman, I love the Wolfman, but if I saw the Wolfman there in the dark, he'd be going down. I'd take him down. And while I'm ragging on creative engineering animatronics, they're animals, yeah? So why are their faces shaved? I don't understand. On the other hand, the Capt Andys animatronics look like old classic animal cartoons brought to life. They were obviously designed 2D first and meant to look very Disney-esque, because they kind of are.
Electronic puppeteering, only instead of having strings, you have button switches and joysticks.
Shoulders. That's right. The corkboard has a purpose. My hit list. These are the 14 players in Capt Andys Rivertowne, and if it looks like a lot, it is. 14 is a lot for one band. Before we talk about these beautiful animatronic performers, some business backstory is in order. That's right, this is the entireography. I've got all my cards in place. Wait, I just messed everything up. All right, the Capt Andys Rivertowne restaurant chain was the brainchild of father and son Andrew and Edward Whalen and their company, Animated Playhouse Corporation. Here's Andrew, and I couldn't find any pictures of his dad, so I kind of had to improvise. The son, the father. And their company was based in Baltimore. The other company involved is Animated Show Productions, and they're based in California. They're the ones that started building the animatronics in 1981. For the restaurant to open in 1982. Pretty nice, isn't it? Also, Animated Show Productions happen to be run by 3 ex-Disney Imagineers. We have Dave, who's the president, and then we have Tom and Bob, and they're the vice presidents. Animated Show Productions went on to be pretty successful. They made the giant King Kong that burnt down at Universal Studios, and they made a UFO that your parents will remember from the Olympics, and they made showpieces for Michael Jackson, so they were doing pretty well. But their first gig was designing and constructing the 14 animatronic players for Capt Andys Rivertowne restaurant. I tried to look into the early development of these characters. Most people attribute their creation to Bob Gurr, and he's wrapped around the string last for a reason, because we're about to talk about him for a little bit.
Bob Gurr spoke about the creation of Capt Andys in a 2003 article called It's Gone. No way back save either.
Then I found a YouTube video interviewing him about lost attractions where he mentions Capt Andy, and that's gone too. But Bob self-published a book. There's an entire chapter on Capt Andy's Rivertowne. So why don't we go get a copy and... Oh dear. We are not doing that. I have considered just asking Bob, but there's an agency to go through, and with how heavily they lean on his Disney Legend past, I don't really think they'll want to relay any message I have for him about a failed business venture in 1982 that doesn't have a happy ending. Spoiler, lawsuits. Ooh. Also, the man is busy. He has his own show now. He does tours at Disneyland. He travels around the nation to give talks and meet people. He's kind of insane. The man is 92, handpicked by Walter Elias himself, involved in some of the greatest theme park attractions of all time, kidnapped the president, and is still going strong. I'm not gonna live till I'm 92. I'm really impressed, Bob. You can tone it down for the rest of us, please. So, I'm not going to bother Bob Gurr about this. We are not bothering National Treasure Bob Gurr. He probably doesn't even think about Rivertowne. What's that? Oh, wait a minute. Bob has a honeysuckle ambrosia hippopotame in his dining room. Banjo playing dog. Capt Andy's Rivertowne transported you to the town of Rivertowne. The first restaurant location opened in Baltimore in 1982. The 14 residents stood on a massive 56-foot stage, telling jokes and singing songs. You may have noticed I haven't really shown much footage of the actual show. We'll get to that. So who are these 14 players? Captain Andy, or Captain Andy, or Captain Andy. I've seen it spelled always on merchandise. He is a adorable banjo-playing dog, and he's a captain because he is fire chief of the volunteer fire department in the town. That's what you need to know. He's cute. Honeysuckle ambrosia hippopotame. A Mae West impersonation. She's the most memorable character. Jubilation T. Bullfrog. A bullfrog. We're gonna begin with these three characters first because they are the characters most prominent in advertisements and merchandise, and the trademark websites actually have their names trademarked. And it's also on the trademark website that they have a character named Matthew. Unfortunately, Matthew's image did not make the internet transfer. It really is a shame that the image is lost forever because I want to see it. So what about the rest of the band? And this is where things get a little tricky. There are 5 dogs, a seagull, 3 cats, a lady frog, and a fire engine. Why do you have the fire engine on there? I will eat my hat if that is not a sentient fire truck. Out of all the sets created, only one is technically in operation today. So logically, we can find out names from this existing show. Well, that should be easy, right? The last remaining show was sold to England's Thorpe Park for its 1985 season. So while all the Capt Andys in America were dismantled around this time, Thorpe Park's show was unaffected by APC going under. It had all the restaurant's skits and songs and sets for millions of guests to enjoy until 1998. There's a Thorpe Park-centric blog that states the show was sold to Pleasurewood Hills Family Theme Park and opened in 2001. I checked the Wayback Machine to see if I could find Captain Andy on their website, and foot and mouth outbreak. What? Here we are. New Captain Andy's animated theater show. Welcome to Rivertowne Review. Come meet Captain Andy, Art Bart and Fargo, and Hard-Hearted Hannah, and the rest of the gang for this hillbilly hoedown of a show. I did not like the way that was written, and it took me many times to read it. Okay, so we have some new names here. We have Art Bart, Fargo, Hard-Hearted Hannah. That's useful, right? No, it isn't. Why? Because hidden in the walls of text on the same website is this. Capt Andy's Rivertowne Review animated show was purchased from Thorpe Park in Surrey. The whole show had to be dismantled, marked, and rebuilt on site. It also had to be reprogrammed using the expertise of park staff. You know what this means, right? They changed the show. Reprogramming loses the original story and characters the developers initially intended. It isn't always a horrible thing, but this reprogrammed show ran for only one season. It must have been great! Pleasurewood sold the show the very next year to Watermouth Castle, another family theme park in England. Isn't England like the size of Illinois? Why do they have so many family theme parks? According to that Thorpe blog from earlier, the old owner of Watermouth Castle said the electronics of the animatronics were in such bad condition that they had to rewire and reprogram everything. Again, the entire reel system and likely its original reels of the recordings and programmed animation were completely scrapped. They're gone. The current show running at Watermouth to this day is original to the park. It's run on 150 relays powered by a harvester belt. The point is, the show that you find clips of online on those little phone recordings and they're on TikTok and YouTube, it's not Capt Andy's Rivertowne. The multiple 1982 segments meant to charm and entertain are gone, along with the original characters' songs and voices and animation and personality and names. I wanted to add that I was looking in the Thorpe Park because of this, and their mascots, Mr. Rabbit, my beloved. We still have 11 animatronic characters left to name and explain, and the original show is lost media. How are we going to do that?
Welcome to Rivertowne, where everybody's celebrating something.
Oodalali. 7 years ago, a clip of the original show was posted online. Well, this is it! The original show, and oh no, it's only 3 minutes long. Okay, alright. It's literally better than nothing. And yeah, the quality sucks, and the sound sucks, and it's not filmed in an authentic America Pizza restaurant. This recording is actually from Thorpe Park, the show that ran for 12 years, and the same set of animatronics that you can see working at Watermouth Castle to this day. Working. I've seen videos of them working. They're working. Last time I checked, Capt Andy's mouth is like... This 3-minute clip has to reveal something, and it does. Alright, April 19th, 1992, we can finally see a small snippet of Capt Andy's Rivertowne and all of its original glory.
Welcome to Rivertowne, where everybody's celebrating something.
I mean, some are celebrating and some are trying to keep cool.
That's right,
Matthew, that's the seagull's name. And you see, this is why you can't trust the show running at Watermouth. In Watermouth, Matthew the seagull's name is Caroline.
Now that's Clarabelle.
I knew the fire truck would have a name.
With an original composition by the one and only Homer.
Yes, Homer, that is you.
Here's Goober, Gus Gus, Happy, and Homer.
What?
Here's Goober, Gus Gus, Happy, and Homer.
Okay, Goober, Gus Gus, Happy, and Homer. So we know which one Homer is, but I'm not sure about the other three, so I'm gonna put them on the side for now. Do you think the little dog has a name, or he's like a little tumor on Clarabelle? Tumor.
Grab the coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Get you a bitter nap and happy to please your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street.
I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. Miss Hilbert, Roskuil.
Oh, that was the most enjoyable 3 minutes of my entire life. 2 minutes if you only count the footage of the show. I do want to say that Captain Andy himself sounds exactly the way I wanted him to. Just wonderful. We are still missing some names, and I couldn't match up the volunteer fire department, or the cat chorus, or our lady frog, and the Dalmatian if you want to count the tumor. We're just gonna have to dig a little deeper, because the internet has to have something. A pig? There's no oh, wait a minute. Hippopotame? Linda, her name is Hippopotame. Oh, I found one. A picture of the dog playing the fiddle named Happy. Also, Sequoia in this article is the later name of ASP. They also went by the name Applied Entertainment Systems, but there's also court documents calling them Animated Entertainment Systems. Kind of an odd choice after the video game crash. Make the mayor jump. He's the mayor? Then what's he doing fishing all the time? Jubilation Tea Bullfrog lore. Lazy politician. Look. I made him a mayor sash. Objectively hilarious. The mayor of Rivertowne. What else do we got? Get 2,000 pounds of pleasure. And hear Dixie whistle. There's this thing called the Mason-Dixon line. Basically, it's an invisible line that separated the Confederate States from the rest of the normal states. The Deep South is nicknamed Dixieland because of this. It's a very cute name. It's history. Not at all. Dixie mainly refers to the genre of music that has roots there, and Captain Andy has a southern hick-like angle. Watermouth Castle had a legit Confederate flag as decor. It has since been replaced by a regular American flag sometime within the last couple of years. You see, hicks in animatronic media is actually pretty common. Think Daniel and the Dixie Diggers, or the Country Critters, the Hard Luck Bears. Even the original Chuck E. Cheese had their hick dog in flag. Everyone in the 1980s did it because in '71, Disney did it first. So the phrase, hear Dixie whistle, is in reference to the music that Captain Andy and his friends play. But who gives a f*** about that? The cat's name is Dixie. The cat's name is Dixie. Dixie. I just wanted to make clear what they intended with the double meaning of this line. You're not only hearing Dixie being whistled, you're hearing Dixie whistle. Was that an over explanation? I hope so. The cat's name is Dixie. Gus Gus and Goober. Goober's not a name. Is that a typo on my part?
Here's Goober, Gus Gus, Abby, and Hoorah.
Alright, he definitely says Goober. Between these two hounds, which is the Gus Gus and which is the Goober? The age-old question.
Yeah, the news about Edward.
La 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 la, look at me, typing away. What's this? Seriously though, wait. Designed by Edward D. Hilbert. He's not on our board. This other Brit blog mentions him too, but they may have taken the information from each other. Edward D. Hilbert. There's a late cartoonist and designer named Edward D. Hilbert. There's nothing in his bio about being involved in themed attractions or animatronics, but he was an artist. These two Brit blogs may be mistaken because I see no evidence that he was involved in APC or ASP or the creation of Capt Andys. Wait, no, listen to this. A man named Edward D. Hilbert who worked in themed attractions in Baltimore. That's the first location of Capt Andy. That's where Animated Playhouse Corporations is based. Unique Designs Incorporated, and the Flash player is not working. Okay, did this company exist? 3 personal blogs talking about this man are not reliable sources. There must be a source that they got this information from. I just need to find it. Okay, Unique Designs Incorporated. Here's a tip when naming your company. Don't be generic. So far, all the information I can find on Edward D. Hilbert is a cartoonist refugee from Hungary, or Edward D. Hilbert who ran Unique Designs Incorporated and worked in themed attractions. There's no overlap, and There's no mention of Captain Andy anywhere. Like, this person said that Edward died the same day as this Edward, but that person may have confused the guy for that guy because they share the same name. Okay, so I was thinking, how about we find evidence that Edward D. Hilbert or his company, Unique Designs, made any ride attractions? The Chicken Little Trio. This place, the Enchanted Forest, I love it. I wasted hours of time just looking at all the stuff that used to be at this abandoned park. So cool. And then it got rescued and restored, but there are no pictures of these supposed chicken animatronics. The only related image I found was this ad. So the Chicken Little Trio did exist. No mentions of Unique Designs or Edward D. Hilbert. I did find the images on the broken Flash player. Cool, but no mention of Captain Andy at all, and really no pictures. I just want proof. I want real proof that this guy was involved with the creation of Captain Andys. Just anything. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong direction. Maybe I should not be investigating Edward of Unique Designs, but Edward the Hungarian cartoonist. No. You know, this guy's life was pretty insane. Edward was a child actor in Hungarian films. Later in his life, a short film was made about him and his wife's harrowing escape from revolutionary Hungary. He documented their travels through cartoons all the way until they reached America. That's cool. No mention of Unique Designs or themed attractions. Let's try bios. What? Behold, the only mention of this Edward D. Hilbert's official involvement in theme parks and restaurants. Okay, I'm calling it. They're the same guy. This man belongs on the board. Hey, and there's a portfolio URL. Of course. What are the chances it's on the way back machine? Well, okay, Edward. Maybe there's even some early designs of the animatronic band that led us here. A dog playing the violin. What more does one need? Though working in themed attractions is why I came across Hilbert at all, it's just a tiny blip in his life. To a point where it was really hard to find it, okay? Unique Designs Incorporated only did the first pass on what eventually became Capt Andys, but it's still part of the story. I still think it's like good to know. Too many creators and artists in our world get bill-fingered, especially in collaborations. If Edward D. Hilbert and his company helped visualize Capt Andys Rivertowne before ASP took over and Disney-fied it, that deserves a mention. He should be on the board along with tons of other unnamed artists and mechanics that I won't know to put up there. Collaborations are rough, buddy. And I am now the leading expert in Edward D. Hilbert. Another! Alright, I found an article confirming that Captain Andy's show segments were 13 minutes each. Charles Solomon was apparently timing them with his stopwatch that day. And we get more songs they sung. So I made a song sheet. This is all the documented songs we have that we know for certain that Captain Andy and his friends sung. We have obvious covers like She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain, Take Me Up to the Ball Game, Sunny Side of the Street. And then we have Homer's composition, which you can hear a small snippet of in the 2-minute recording that we have of the original show. In the canon of the show, Captain Andy says Homer wrote it. So we're pretty sure that that is a song originally for the show. Unfortunately, I can't understand him. I have listened to that recording so many times, and I do not understand. His voice is so high-pitched, and it has this stupid little accent, and I don't understand him. If you could, give it a listen, try to understand what he's saying, and then put the lyrics down below, because I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's not a cover. I'm pretty sure it's a song written for the Capt Andys Rivertowne show, but I don't know what he's saying. The last 2 songs on here are also covers, but they're from the same musical, so I thought I would just put them together. We have like the Trolley Song and Meet Me in St. Louis, which I bet the cat chorus fucking killed, because after hearing their Sunny Side of the Street rendition, they're so good. So the trolley song and Meet Me in St. Louis are from the same musical, Meet Me in St. Louis. It has a very famous song.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
We watched it thinking it was a Christmas musical, and it's not. I can't recommend it, but it is weird. It is a very weird thing that I watched once. Anyway, that's enough tangents. Let's put this up. Simply Beautimous. I found more ads, a liquidation sale, exciting stuff. There's an article about a location in Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti. Do you think the Y, you're not supposed to say it, so it's Ypsilanti? Oh no, that's worse. Never mind. The town of Ypsilanti denied a liquor license for the location. Oh, before we move on, do you see these images? Do you see them? Aren't they nice? I have no idea where I got these. They were on my hard drive, and where did they come from? I tried to reverse search them and got nothing, so I just wanted to put them up here so you can see them. I'm pretty sure there's two artists here. One of them is signed. I think that's Lou De La Rosa's work. And if you look at the video of Bob Gurr's house where he has a honeysuckle ambrosia in his dining room, behind her you can see this bizarrely colored ad. The cats are like blue and green. I wish I could find a clear image of it. I just do not understand this image. And I wish I could find more production images because I love them. After searching far and wide, I'm tired. The video's not over. I'm just tired, okay? I'm sure there are people out there who can prove the names of these remaining characters, but I cannot confirm nor deny. And I never explained why I made this one Goober and this one Gus Gus. It's pure logic.
Here's Goober, Gus Gus, Happy, and Homer.
Goober, Gus Gus, Happy, and Homer, right? And there are 4 dogs. But you have 3 dogs who come out together, and then you have the dog on the piano. The 3 dogs that come out together, Homer is in that pod. So if you're going to say Goober, Gus Gus, Happy, and Homer, you would say the 3 that are together first, or you would say the dog on the piano first. And because we know the dog on the piano is not Homer, the dog on the piano has to be Goober. It's sound logic, isn't it? This one's Goober, this one's Gus Gus. And then I made placeholder names for the remaining characters that are probably super accurate. This is just so if you know the names of the character, you don't just have to be like, oh, the cat on the left. Like, nah, you can just say Cat 3, which is what I named her. Those are my tags. Cat 3, but you can't guess the next one. Cat 2, the Misses. We're not talking about the Dalmatian. 12 locations of Capt Andy's Rivertowne opened by the end of 1983, and many more planned, like 100. I tried to prove all the locations. I couldn't do it. You see this map? It's not right. No, this map is wrong. Most of these locations are claimed by multiple people online, remembering the shopping center their Capt Andy was in. I've either proven or disproven some of them because memories aren't exactly reliable, or I have no proof either way. For example, there are people online saying that there was a location in Perry Hall, a similar name, and 13-minute drive away from the original location at the Putty Hill Shopping Center. You see my problem here? These restaurants would be competing with each other. I just don't buy that there was one in Perry Hall, but multiple people online have said that there's one in Perry Hall. So I put it on the map, but I didn't put it on the map. I guess I was so offended by it, I just didn't put it on there. But it's somewhere over here. It's kind of sad how undocumented the locations are. I can only find one exterior photo. One! And it's the one of the location in Ypsilanti. Yeah. A pig? Again? Elizabeth. Have you been talking to Linda? Her name is Hippopoto.
Well, we thought that the family needs a place to come and to have fun.
By the end of 1984, Capt Andy's Rivertowne obviously failed. Like, I know in retrospect, Duh. All themed family restaurants like this failed post-1983, mainly because of the video game crash, but I think people creating these restaurants were missing the point. To this day, people want to open up their own animatronic-themed restaurants, and do not do that. Nolan Bushnell created Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Theatre, the first interactive themed arcade family restaurant, because he created Atari. Arcade cabinets were a big income at the time, and combining the 1980s arcade with a restaurant makes sense. But then, if there are video games, how do you get your kids to sit the fuck down and eat? Hence the animatronic bands edition. But, in these types of restaurants, it is important that the arcade machines make money. And it is important that the food makes money. Animatronics do not make money. They don't make money. So by the video game crash of 1983, it's no wonder that these types of family establishments went bankrupt, including Chuck E. Cheese. If you're an animatronic gremlin like me, this is pretty common knowledge, but if you don't know, Pizza Towne Theatre, the company that owned Chuck E. Cheese and started this all, they failed. And all of their assets were bought up by their main competitor and really good copycat, Showbiz Pizza. And it's only Showbiz Pizza that exists as a successful chain to this day. Barely. I like the Capt Andys restaurant's vibe, but its layout and the wide open eating spaces, all the squished in families, and the blaring arcade machines, and the cooking, and the cashier, and the animatronic bands, and all those loud birthday parties. I hate loud restaurants. It does hurt me to say, but people aren't really into animatronics. They think they're cool, but it's a niche interest. I love them. I made a really long-ass video. Animatronics are cool, but expensive, and say it with me, animatronics do not make money. In fact, they kind of lose it. Capt Andy's Rivertowne, while beloved by the children who went there, closed. Forever. And the companies that started Capt Andys sued. Understand that APC, Animated Playhouse Corporations, started selling restaurants as early as 1982. The year they opened. It was in 1982 that they sold their first restaurant location in Baltimore to Tyler Abel and Anthony Chase. And then later John Toomey. These three, they are businessmen buddies. They are little rich boys. Businessmen. When the restaurant failed by 1984, these three guys, we'll call them ACT, they sued APC and both the Whalens directly. Not good. They sued because honestly, they were bitter. They accused the Whalens of misleading them during negotiations and wire fraud. I mean, there seems to be no evidence of any of this. In the end, no one forced ACT to buy into these restaurants. Like, they had 2 years to run it before it failed. They were just mad. And the judge thought so too because the case was thrown out. The Whalens filed for bankruptcy because pursuing other business ventures while being sued for your failed past business venture is bad for business. The Whalens then countersued ACT for trying to sue them in the first place. This didn't go anywhere. Keep in mind, all this legal stuff began in 1984 and was finally laid to rest in 1995. That's 11 years of nothing. At that point, just let it go. In an entirely different case, the Bank of West sued our 3 ex-Disney Imagineers here for damages up to $1 million. This is partially why I don't really want to ask Bob Gurr about this stuff, because I would ask him, I'd be like, oh, do you remember what Cat 3's name is? And he'd be like, they sued me for $1 million. Capt Andy's Rivertowne was officially dead. From what I can tell, the Miami, Florida location opened as the Captain Sunrise, and I have no idea what happened to it. I assume the Michigan location sold its show to Blobo Park, where it ran until the 90s. APC sold the unit to an unopened park in Malaysia, a rabbit hole we cannot afford to go down right now. And of course, there was the unit sold to Thorpe Park. In 2010, the fire engine Clarabelle was on Season 2, Episode 20 of Pawn Stars.
What in the world do we have here?
A Capt Andys and Miss Bullfrog animatronic went up for sale in 2017, and I can only hope that loving collectors got their hands on these things, and they weren't just trashed. People who talk about going to Capt Andys really only have good things to say about it. The games were cool, and the vibe of the town was neat. The animatronics and walk-around looked great, and the food was completely edible. There's obviously a lot of lost media and information in regards to Capt Andy. The only footage we have of the original show was shot by some parent at Thorpe Park who had no idea how valuable this footage would be. Well, how valuable this footage would be to me personally. If I failed to mention anything or you know any hearsay, pop it down below. I want to know. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. I'm Raya. I've got a video game coming out in 2026. I've got a webcomic I update consistently. I plan to make more videos like this. My subscribers are used to my animations. I do want to do more animations, but I hope you enjoy this too. It's kind of related. I think I deleted all the animations off my channel except for one, and it's just my Rock of Fire Explosion one. Check out all the links and articles I referenced in this video below. Listen to Homer's composition. Tell me what he's saying. Bob Gurr is immortal.